Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. And of course, along with Michael and Gary, we've got our old friend Ken Luna. He's got some really exciting information about Gather, about on-demand insurance, wonderful things you're doing for our industry. So, sir?
Well, I am honored that you guys have asked me back. If you guys will remember, I think I was the very first guest that you ever had on your podcast.
You were. I'm thrilled. I pulled up the first podcast and put it right out there and rewatched it, and I'm thrilled. We're 25 in. So you're the first and the 25th, and Larry and Mike haven't thrown me off the show, and I haven't pissed off any of our guests. And
you seem like there's a yet in there, Gary.
Well, we're ready to execute. So that's what I'm ready to. All this is all wonderful, and things you got to do is I want to be inside live showrooms, not virtual showrooms. So here's where we are.
Absolutely. Well, I don't want to be executed, but we're going to proceed along here with what's going on with Gather. And there's a ton going on with Gather these days. So if you have best known as a identity verification at most of the major airports, where it expedites you getting through security. And probably the best way for me to put this is if a consumer wants to expedite themselves and a dealership expedite themselves going through the front end process at a dealership, that's that I'm not supposed to say, so I'm not going to dive into that. That will be coming out this fall. We'll be replacing or segmenting, if you will, what we currently use, our own legacy system that we use on the identity side right now. So just as a rehash, Gather is our base system is an identity and insurance verification system that only needs a picture of the driver's license, the insurance card, and a selfie. That's it. There's no logins. There's nothing else to do except have the consumer do that process on their phone. That's our base system. And the clear piece.
I want a clarification for me and for everybody else, because I think this is very big and they may be missing this. Is that if you have a consumer that's home and they say, I'm not coming in but I want to get Gather, or the dealer that has your software can send a link to that consumer, and that consumer can open up the link and take the 3 selfies with their cell phone, and that individual can be verified to purchase a car.
That is correct.
Okay, so if the dealer wanted to do a remote delivery and this consumer signed all the documentations and they signed everything in a good bank contract, that this vehicle, depending on the state's law, could be delivered to that vehicle and the customer never has to come into the show.
That's correct, as long as they have a cell phone that's not 20 years old.
Understand. Right.
We haven't tried any flip phones, but
but in an effort of today, the average Joe and Joette have a smartphone in their hand. The government was giving all of our new neighbors a phone that works. So
really, okay.
I mean, maybe not. Okay, so maybe it doesn't have a camera.
I don't know about that one.
Okay, all right. But just for the basis is for remote deliveries, and for when they have credit customers that don't have time or need or want to come into the showroom, the whole entire transaction can be completed there, and you guys with your services verify the identity, verify the insurance, and allows the dealer to basically do a delivery remotely.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, there is a major, and I can't mention them yet because it's not quite ready yet because they're in test right now, but there's a major entity in the industry that already has us embedded for identity and insurance verification in their process. And this entity, if you will, does business with about 3,000 to 4,000 dealerships right now.
Okay.
So, and that's, I mean, they're web-based. So,
well, and that's why when we first started chatting, and I said, oh, everybody needs Gather because it's a part of it's step one and step two. Thank you for clarifying it. So for any dealer, any F&I, or anybody out there, is Gather is a tool for you if you want to have a car delivered and the customer doesn't want to come in and you need to do all your verifications.
Absolutely. And that happens quite a bit. That's not unusual at all. So a lot of the volume that we're doing right now is not in the showroom. It's remote on the consumer's phone. Now, the reason why, and I'm digressing a little bit, but just real quick, the reason why we like to have some sort of kiosk or something, an iPad or something to be used at the dealership is just in case someone walks in with that 20-year-old flip phone.
Right.
But outside of that, the entire process can be done remotely or in the showroom.
But it also organizes it. And I think the kiosk is a very soft, hey, come on over and let's verify. So no. But depending on whatever the dealer's thoughts of how to do it, you guys have produced multiple ways for them to be able to do it. That's all.
Absolutely. So, and the other thing is that we have progressed over time. And Gary, you've been with us since almost the very beginning as far as when we released it. I'm sure you've seen a lot of enhancements. We now do passports. So like if it's, Canadian, Mexican, someone close by. And then also, we work in all 50 states. It doesn't matter which state they're, from the standpoint of identity and insurance verification, we work in all 50 locations. So, and then we also are the only company out there that has the $1 million guarantee. And what the $1 million guarantee is, it's an umbrella policy that we give the dealership, and it's actually up to $300,000 per incident. That if someone goes through our system and they pass on the identity side and they pass on the insurance side, because we cross-verify those as well, and that winds up being a synthetic fraudster. That means someone has got a fake identity, they're stealing the car, and then 2 to 3 months later when the dealership finds out that they've been had, but they've used the Gather system with that individual, then we will pay for the car. So we're putting our money where our mouth is. That's
you're helping verify the identity, and if there's a glitch, you're covering them. That's pretty strong on both ends.
And as far as I know, unless you guys know somebody else out there doing this, I don't know anyone. I mean, there's a lot of people that say they have identity verification systems or whatever, but I'll just ask the dealer, well, are they backing that up? If you lose the car, are they going to pay you?
Yeah.
The answer is no. So we're that strong on our belief in what we do. But what I really would like to spend time on today is something that's really, really working well. And it's working primarily in regular dealerships, not so much high lines, but regulars, and certainly in subprime situations, is something that we refer to as on-demand insurance. And what we have done, we have built with the Allstate network a system that if somebody's sitting across from the F&I manager or the sales guy, and it's 7 o'clock at night, or it doesn't matter what time of day, but especially if it's after hours or whatever, and they can't get a hold of their insurance agent, or they don't even have an insurance agent, and they want to drive that car off the lot, but they can't because they can't prove that they've got insurance, then we can get them on a 6-month regular policy within probably a 30-minute time frame. We'll have them totally vested, 6-month policy through one of the Allstate affiliates, and have that done that quickly. And we do that by integrating in with the Allstate system electronically, where they're basically, They go through the system to get verified. Of course, they have to do that first, like we were talking about, the insurance and identity verification. So as long as we know that is good, then they qualify for the on-demand insurance. And what's cool about it is in the situations where this is happening, and we have dealerships. I'll give you an example. City Kia here in Orlando is one of the biggest Kia stores in the state of Florida, is using this on a regular basis. And they're in an area of town that lends itself to folks needing this kind of help. And it's saving deals. The way that I ask dealers if they need something like this is I ask them, do you ever lose a deal because somebody doesn't have insurance? Because typically what happens is the person goes, well, let me go check with my agent. I'll get back with you tomorrow. Or, they just make some excuse up. They're kind of embarrassed that they don't even have the insurance, but or they were just kind of hoping they could buy the car without it. It's amazing how many people don't understand that they have to have insurance to drive a car off the lot. And Larry, you especially know this, I'm sure.
They're the same people, Ken, that don't understand that when there's a payoff on the car, it gets figured back into the deal.
Yeah, exactly.
I own that.
Wow. So, yeah, you're right. So, I mean, it's you're dealing with all sorts of clientele. These are probably the same people we facilitate that. And the real key here is I asked this one dealer, it wasn't City Kia, it's another one that's using. We have a big group out of the Midwest using us as well. And I said, well, how much, if you lost that deal, what were you going to lose just from a gross profit standpoint? He said, oh, that was easily a $3,000 deal, that was going to walk out the door. So the way that it works is it's a 1-week policy. It's not cheap. It basically, depending upon the state, runs anywhere from $200 to $300, depending upon whether it's a $50,000 up to a $50,000 up to a $100,000 vehicle on the collision side, because the rest of it's state minimums. But and the dealer pays for that first week. Now, if they want to roll it back into the deal or whatever they want to do, we're not attorneys. We're not telling them whether they should or should not do that. But as long as they get that deal titled within a 1-week period of time, then they're good. So they can let that person go. And then what happens is once that deal is titled, the agency, if you will, an Allstate agency, is immediately on the phone with that individual to basically get them off of that policy and get them onto a policy that's probably a little bit better for them from a financial standpoint. However, I will tell you that we have some dealers telling us that the fact that we're getting somebody on a policy that's costing them $250 a week is something they're thrilled to have. Because in certain situations, we are getting people insured that could get insured any other way through this particular offer. And these are typically people that have had a DUI, had a suspended license, or just now off of that suspended license, but now they're trying to get insurance. And yeah, they can get insurance, but it's costing them even more than what Allstate, the Allstate network, not Allstate themselves, but the Allstate network is going to be charging them. So there's some great stories behind this and making people happy because of that. Now, it's not available in all states. There's certain states, and there's about 10 states, because of their laws and because of the idiosyncrasies of the insurance laws in those particular states. An example is New York. The way it works, the integration works. If the dealership is on one of the major DMS systems, it's even faster because we integrate with all the major DMSs. And if you're doing a deal and you're doing the on-demand insurance, then we don't have to ask for the VIN number or anything. We just pull it right out of the deal. If the deal's already started, we pull all the information out of the deal and immediately send that into the Allstate system. If the deal has not been started, or let's say you're a used car operation and you've got some off-brand DMS. Well, I say off-brand, I shouldn't say that. It's not one of the major DMSs that we integrate with. Then you can still do it. It's just you have to type in the VIN number. You have to type in.
A little bit more labor intensive.
It is, but.
Ken, who cares if it saves the deal?
The major group that we've got in the Midwest, they don't have a.
They don't have any issue with it because they have the right. They have the right mindset. They know that it's a benefit for them that allows their customers to be happy because no one has to say no. There's so many deals that happen every day. I just think back over my career is that we would have an Allstate agent just coincidentally on a cell phone that when we had a deal and Jeff Brown, that was his name, hey, is the customer ready to come in? No, they don't have insurance yet. Well, when are they getting insurance? Well, Jeff's on his way over, and he'll write the policy in the showroom, and it's great. Is that okay? I'll bring him in now, and then when Jeff gets here, don't deliver the car until we get the insurance. So it was a process in every dealership. I mean, and so now to make it so much easier when somebody doesn't have you, or I mean, it saves the day. It's a Saturday and you got.
I'm sorry, some kind of a flood warning or something.
I was going to say, what kind of emergency is that? That one of your employees has the place held down?
One of you guys is getting hit with a lightning bolt.
Well, I think what it was is because Larry does business in so many places, it's one of his customers needing help.
Exactly, I think
so
that's
that
what
was
it is.
They call that a Feldman alert. So I know exactly what that was.
So the value in dealers are now understanding and seeing the value of having Gather on the team.
Oh, there's no question. So the cool thing is that, of course, to begin this process with the on-demand insurance, they have already gone through the process of us knowing that they are who they say they are. So we know that, so we've identified them.
Yeah.
But we also know they don't have insurance.
Right. You knew that earlier.
So we know either because they tell us, because there's a question during the process, do you have insurance? And, you know, a lot of folks are honest. They say, nope, I need help there.
Yep.
Or they say, yep. And then we run them through and then we go, nope, you don't.
No, you
Maybe
don't.
you thought you did, but you don't. Maybe you missed that payment and waited 30 days and just forgot about it.
Yeah, I thought my wife made that payment.
That's right. It's amazing right now that dealers think the magical plastic or printed out card, my insurance cards are printed out. I haven't gotten a plastic card in forever. My insurance card is not magical. It does not necessarily mean I have insurance. And I love how it says proof of insurance. No, it's not. It really isn't. I mean, you could have not made your payment. You could have faked it. It's easy enough to make a fake insurance card.
Yeah.
I mean, we have experts out there making fake licenses that we're catching right now, but the insurance card's pretty easy to fake. Or let's say that it's a college student. They're wanting to buy their first car, but they're on their parents' policy. And they walk in and they say, yeah, I got insurance. Here it is, right here. I've got insurance. But then
Your parents' policy.
you look at it and you go, well, my man, you're going to need your own insurance to drive that car off our lot.
Because that's in mommy and daddy's name, not yours.
That's exactly right. So, I mean, you have all those instances, which all dealers are familiar with. I mean, they run into
It's a daily occurrence.
all the time.
It's a daily occurrence. Just because you can buy a car doesn't mean you can have insurance and drive it off the lot.
Yeah, and the reason earlier I mentioned that it's, for Highline dealers, the identity verification piece of this is really important because normally that's who, the synthetic fraudster is going after. Why risk going to jail for a $30,000 vehicle when I can get a $100,000 vehicle for kind of much the same effort.
We had the same conversation the last time you said it. It's right. It's like, no, and there's need everywhere, and it's embedding it in their processes that I think that they're all starting to wake up, is that the stuff that people have been telling us to do for the last 20, 30 years, if we don't start doing it, it's going to finally be the end. And
Gary, I'll tell you this, and I do believe the statistics correct. TransUnion basically said that over $2 billion in losses in the automotive industries just to synthetic fraudsters. Specific. That, and I'm like, someone's got to be losing those cars.
Yeah.
You know, for every dealer to say, well, that's never happened to us. I'm like, I don't, you know, that's kind of hard to, but the thing is, there's so many stories out there, and you hear it's one of those, you know, what is that, the 6 or 7 degrees separation of Kevin Bacon?
6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, 6 degrees of separation. Well, it's 6 degrees of separation of losing a car to a synthetic fraudster.
So, Ken, so if I'm understanding this, you've got a product that's going to put more people on the road because it's going to get them insurance. It's going to make sure that they're delivered accurately, and you're going to eliminate or cut down on fraud dramatically, and they don't have to come to the dealership. And as we all know, remote stuff it just keeps growing in popularity.
Yep.
What's the best place for people to reach out to you if they want to find out more about Gather, if they want to dial in?
So our website is, and it's a little wonky, there's no .com or anything, it's just gather.technology. That is our website.
Technology. Okay.
Yep, that's our website because we like to be different, I guess. I don't know. But that's the way we set it up. There's no .com. Sometimes people get lost on the .com. So if you want to learn more about Gather, that is our website. Or they can contact me. My email address is ken@gather.technology.
Easy enough.
Yep.
Easy enough. Is there anything else you'd like to bring to our attention? Obviously, we're fans of you and we're fans of your product, and it sounds like instead of being complacent, you're constantly working on making this thing better and expanding its purposes and uses.
I would encourage anybody who's on LinkedIn to sign up with my following. I've got a pretty good following on LinkedIn. I do
Old man in the sea.
I'm the old man in the sea. That's right. Thank you for knowing who that is. And please sign up for that newsletter. We do that once a week, sharing information about fraud, and also a lot of my postings are where I have other sources where, people want to know, well, where do these fraudsters get this information to be fraudsters? And there's a lot of sources I have that tell people where they get them from. It's kind of a very, it's such a nasty industry, the fraud industry, but it's and as we already discussed, even in automotive, but worldwide, billions and billions of dollars are being lost to these fraudsters. And their methods and their technology, these guys are really sharp. They know what they're doing. There's amateurs out there, too, that we're catching, too. But and it's not really our goal to catch the fraudster. Our goal is to scare them away, if you will. When they see that they've got us, or they see that there's some function or functionality that the dealership has that goes beyond just asking for, to me to give you my driver's license, and then all of a sudden now that we're doing a face scan, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I don't want to buy. I'll go to the next dealership that doesn't do this. These guys obviously have advanced technology where we're not wanting to do this. Oh, I'm certainly not going to try to get verified.
Right.
These,
right.
So that's kind of where we're coming from that effort. Even though there's a story that I can share with anybody that, instead of the article in Automotive News wrote up on us last year, where we had a dealer group in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that actually wound up catching a young lady that was a synthetic fraudster. She went to one dealership, left. They were both within the same group on the Gather system, and The second time we saw that she was trying to buy it online, like you're talking about, trying to get verified, and she got verified all right. And when she showed up at the other dealership, and she had already passed BMW credit, flying color, had a 760 credit score, the whole thing. And as soon as she signed the agreements, the cops were right there to take her in. And she was part of a fraud ring. I mean, she was basically a mule. So, Larry, that's a long way of answering your question. If I want to say anything else, I could talk a long time about all this, but I realize there's a limit as to how much time you guys.
Gather.technology.
Well,
Ken at gather.technology.
Right.
You should check out. All it's going to do is protect you and help you make more deals.
Well, and Larry, if I can just jump in on that, as in where I'm working, so between Ken and me and Global F&I Solutions, we feel that Gather is the tip to start the deal. So we are bringing it to our Connecticut dealers, and we're working right now with Mike and Gather's marketing team, Becky, to send letters and emails to all of my network to offer the services. So they're going to see an email, they're going to get some information, and anybody who wants to chat with me about how you can streamline your funnel, boy, with Ken Luna on my team for verification and Mike Larkin, who knows how to connect the dots, I am an F&I guy. I'm not a digital marketing guy. I'm learning digital marketing. But if dealers want first-party data and first-party leads, boy, does Mike Larkin have solutions for them to do that. And it's proof in what Mike has done for me with supporting all of the podcasts that we're watching right now, my websites, my emails. So digital marketing is how you drive traffic. And with products like Gather Technology, boy, you're creating a winning opportunity that you just got customers being verified, and that's how you streamline your selling systems. So I'm thrilled to have Ken on my team, because it brings value to the dealer to do it the right way the first time. And now with on demand, I see it all the time, and it's very interesting. I had a guy I was working in Florida, and I've been in that Kia dealership, and boy, you've got Disneyland on one side of town, and then you have where the Kia dealership really is. So on demand is needed. So great. I'm thrilled to get some clarification on some things that I was unaware of. Remote deliveries, we've been talking about it. You can buy a car on your cell phone, front to back, cradle to grave. Just add Gather and verify everything along the way, and there's your process. We didn't even mention a lot about Gus, and it's funny, I left Gus out of my marketing voice. But the little chipmunk that everyone's seeing with me, that's our guy. It's Gus. He's doing all the heavy lifting.
I love it. Before we jump off, Michael, we haven't heard too much from you.
Yep.
We always value your input. Any thoughts?
I just was thinking about the data and of the 17,000 plus rooftops in all the United States, how much of a percentage is that the insurance problem prevalent? Is it 50%, or is it more wide ranged? Because sometimes these guys don't know what they don't know.
Yeah, I would say that, and it's probably way oversimplifying, and you just try to think about this logically, is that most people that can afford a $100,000 vehicle, they probably have insurance. I mean, that's that. I'm sure there's exceptions to everything, but the folks that are struggling to buy a $25,000 car, they're kind of hoping that dealership doesn't dig too deep on whether they have insurance or not, or different scenarios are more prevalent in those lines. And so I would say, from a dealership standpoint, I'd say most of them. I'd be very surprised.
I make X amount of dollars on a monthly basis, and if the cars, I got to stay with my insurance and my car under this cap, and because I can't afford it, I don't have the money to pay for it, and that's where.
Gary, not to mention the convenience of having it handled for you.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's.
You know,
Ken, as usual, man, you were right on the money. Again, regretfully, we didn't hear more about Gus, but it's okay. Larkin has a chipmunk costume. We put it on when he's drunk.
Pockets in his cheeks.
Ken, we hope to see you soon. As usual, a ton of information, and it's always a pleasure to see you. Mr. Larkin, Mr. Silman, as usual, pleasure hanging around with you guys, and let's all do some good together.
Looking forward to part 3, Ken.
sounds good.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Good seeing everybody. We'll be in touch.
You guys take care.
Stay healthy.
Bye-bye.